Welcome to Book Bites, where we transform powerful books into simple, digestible lessons you can carry with you every day. Today, we're diving into one of the most influential personal finance books ever written, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert T. Kiyosaki. This book isn't just about money, it's about mindset, choices, and learning how to think differently about wealth. Published in 1997, Rich Dad Poor Dad has sold millions of copies worldwide and continues to inspire people from all walks of life. It challenges the way we think about jobs, income, and what it truly means to be financially free. Robert Kiyosaki grew up with two father figures. His biological father, who he lovingly calls his poor dad, was a highly educated man with a PhD, who worked hard, valued job security, and believed in climbing the traditional career ladder. Despite his intelligence and dedication, he struggled financially. Then there was his best friend's father, the rich dad. This man didn't have a college degree, but he had financial wisdom. He understood money, investing, and how to make money work for him instead of working endlessly for money. The contrast between these two father figures gave Robert a unique perspective. Through their different teachings, he learned that financial success isn't about how much money you make. It's about how you think, how you manage money, and how you use opportunities. So, why is this book important for you? Because most of us grew up with lessons similar to those of the poor dad. Go to school, get good grades, land a stable job, and retire at 60. But the world has changed. Job security isn't what it used to be, and relying solely on a paycheck may not lead to financial independence. Rich Dad Poor Dad offers a roadmap to financial literacy, showing us how to break free from paycheck to paycheck living and step into a mindset that builds lasting wealth. By the end of this summary, you'll understand the core principles of the book, the big lessons from each chapter, and, most importantly, how to apply them in your own life. So settle in, and let's explore this timeless guide to wealth and wisdom. Blank. The big idea. At its heart, Rich Dad Poor Dad delivers one big idea. The rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. This is the foundation of Robert Kiyosaki's message. Most people spend their lives working for money. They trade their time for a paycheck, pay bills, and hope to retire someday. That's the mindset of the poor dad. But the rich dad believed differently. He taught Robert that wealth comes not from high income, but from building assets, things that put money into your pocket even while you sleep. The poor dad valued job security. The rich dad valued financial freedom. The poor dad said, "I can't afford it." The rich dad said, "How can I afford it?" That small shift in mindset makes a world of difference. The book's premise is that we must learn financial literacy, the knowledge of money, investing, and assets, because schools rarely teach it. By changing how we think about money, we can change how we live our lives. This is the heart of our journey. Let's walk through the book chapter by chapter, unpacking the key lessons and what they mean for us today. Chapter 1. The Rich Don't Work for Money. Robert recalls being a young boy, working for his rich dad. At one point, Rich Dad paid him almost nothing. Why? Because he wanted Robert to learn that money isn't the ultimate goal. The lesson here is simple. When you work only for money, you give up control. You become dependent on a paycheck, and fear or greed often dictate your choices. Rich Dad encouraged Robert to think differently. Instead of asking, "How can I earn more?" he learned to ask, "How can I create opportunities where money works for me?" Key takeaways. Don't be driven solely by fear of poverty or the desire for comfort. Look for opportunities instead of just higher wages. Train yourself to think like an investor, not just a worker. Book Bites perspective. This doesn't mean you shouldn't work. Work is necessary, especially early on. But even while working, keep your eyes open for chances to build skills, investments, or side projects that could eventually free you from relying solely on a paycheck. Chapter 2. Why teach financial literacy? Schools teach us math, science, and history, but very rarely do they teach us how money works. Rich Dad explained that financial literacy begins with understanding the difference between assets and liabilities. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. Most people think their house is an asset, but if it constantly drains money through mortgage payments, repairs, and taxes, it's actually a liability. Key takeaways. Wealth is not measured by income. It's measured by assets. Buy things that generate income, like investments or rental properties. Avoid piling up liabilities disguised as assets. Book Bites perspective. This simple lesson alone can change how you see your finances. Before buying something, ask yourself, Will this add money to my life or take it away? Chapter 3. Mind your own business. This chapter stresses the importance of building your own financial foundation instead of only working for someone else's business. Rich Dad taught that you don't have to quit your job, but you should always focus on growing your own assets. Don't just climb the corporate ladder, build your own ladder on the side. Key takeaways. Don't confuse your job with your business. Focus on acquiring assets, even while employed. Think like an entrepreneur, even if you're an employee. Book Bites Perspective. Today, this is more relevant than ever. With side hustles, digital businesses, and investments available at our fingertips, it's easier than ever to mind your own business while still keeping your day job. Chapter 4. The History of Taxes and the Power of Corporations. Rich Dad believed that understanding taxes and corporations gives a powerful advantage. The poor and middle class work for money and pay taxes first. The rich, however, use corporations and investments to protect and grow their wealth. For example, a corporation can deduct expenses before taxes, while individuals are taxed before they spend. This difference allows the wealthy to legally minimize their taxes and reinvest profits. Key takeaways. Learn how taxes and legal structures work. Corporations can be tools for wealth, not just big companies. The rich focus on smart systems, not just hard work. Book Bites Perspective. This isn't about cheating the system. It's about understanding the rules of the game and playing smarter. Chapter 5. The Rich Invent Money. Opportunities are everywhere, but most people don't see them because they're focused only on job security. Rich Dad taught that wealth is created by spotting opportunities and taking calculated risks. The rich invent money by creating solutions, building businesses, or investing in ways others overlook. Key takeaways. Financial intelligence lets you create opportunities. The more you learn, the more chances you'll see. Don't wait for the perfect chance, create one. Book Bites Perspective. Think about this in your own life. Could you turn a hobby into a side hustle? Could you invest in learning a skill that pays off for years? That's inventing money. Chapter 6. Work to learn, don't work for money. Rich Dad encouraged Robert to seek jobs not just for income, but for the skills they taught. He explained that many people avoid risk and miss chances to grow. By working to learn, whether it's sales, marketing, or management, you gain tools that open doors to financial independence. Key takeaways. Prioritize skills over salary. Embrace opportunities to grow, even if the pay is low. Lifelong learning leads to long-term wealth. Book Bites Perspective. Your career should be a training ground. Each job, each project, can give you skills that later pay dividends in business or investing. Chapter 7. Overcoming Obstacles. The biggest barriers to financial freedom aren't external. They're internal. Robert highlights 5 key obstacles. 1. Fear. Fear of losing money. 2. Cynicism. Listening to doubt and negativity. 3. Laziness. Avoiding the effort required. 4. Bad habits. Poor spending and saving routines. 5. Arrogance. Ignoring what you don't know. Key takeaways. Everyone faces fear, but the rich don't let it control them. Replace cynicism with curiosity. Build habits that support wealth, not destroy it. Book Bites Perspective. This chapter reminds us that mindset is everything. Before wealth can grow in your wallet, it must grow in your mind. Chapter 8. Getting Started. Rich Dad Poor Dad closes with practical steps for beginning your financial journey. Robert emphasizes the importance of desire, focus, and smart action. Wealth isn't built overnight. It begins with small decisions that snowball into bigger results. Key takeaways. Start where you are, with what you have. Set clear financial goals. Surround yourself with people who inspire growth. Book Bites Perspective. The perfect time to start doesn't exist. The best time is now, even if you begin small. Major lessons and life applications. Now that we've walked through each chapter, let's bring the biggest lessons together. These ideas form the backbone of Robert Kiyosaki's philosophy, and they're incredibly powerful when applied in real life. Lesson 1. Assets versus liabilities. This is the central lesson of the book. The rich build and acquire assets, while the poor and middle class often acquire liabilities that they mistake for assets. Example. A car bought for personal use isn't an asset. It loses value over time and costs money to maintain. But a car used for a rental service or deliveries can be an asset because it generates income. Life application. Before buying anything expensive, ask, does this put money in my pocket or take money out? Lesson 2. The power of mindset. Rich Dad constantly emphasized mindset over money. Poor Dad's mindset was, play it safe, get a job, and hope for retirement. Rich Dad's mindset was, take calculated risks, keep learning, and create opportunities. Application in career. Instead of just chasing promotions, focus on gaining new skills and experiences. Application in daily life. Replace the phrase, I can't afford it, with, how can I afford it? This small shift opens your brain to creative solutions. Lesson 3. Don't work only for money. A job provides stability, but relying on it alone keeps you trapped in the rat race. Working only for money often leads to dependency on a paycheck, which can collapse if you lose your job. Application. Use your job as a training ground. Learn sales, communication, leadership, or technical skills, then use them to build side businesses or investments. Lesson 4. Financial literacy is essential. Money without knowledge disappears quickly. This is why many lottery winners or athletes who earn millions end up broke. Without understanding money, income alone isn't enough. Application. Dedicate time each week to financial education. Read about investing, taxes, or real estate. Even small bits of knowledge compound over time. Lesson 5. Overcoming fear and doubt. Robert explains that fear of losing money is one of the greatest obstacles to wealth. Most people play not to lose instead of playing to win. Application. Start small. If you're afraid of investing, put aside a tiny portion of money and test it. Experience is the best teacher. Lesson 6. The importance of learning by doing. Rich Dad told Robert to focus on skills, not just salary. Sales, communication, and leadership were highlighted as particularly valuable. Application. Consider volunteering for projects, switching roles, or taking on challenges that push you to learn, even if they don't come with immediate financial rewards. Lesson 7. Build systems and structures. The rich use systems, like corporations, to protect and grow wealth. They don't just work harder, they work smarter by using structures that reduce taxes and increase reinvestment. Application. If you ever plan to run a business, learn about company structures, tax benefits, and legal protections. Lesson 8. Start now, even if small. Many people wait for the perfect moment to start investing, saving, or building a business. That moment rarely comes. Application. Start today. Even small savings invested wisely grow over time. At Book Bites, we believe books like this are more than just stories or lessons. They're invitations. Invitations to grow, to challenge your old beliefs, and to take charge of your future. If you found value in today's summary, don't forget to subscribe to Book Bites, where we transform pages into progress and books into bites of wisdom. Until next time, keep growing, keep reading.